Hey guys, Retro Rewinder here, coming at you with a live garage sale video. It is now 7/11, Friday morning. I do things a little differently. I don't typically garage sale on Saturdays. I go out on Fridays. So it is Friday morning. It's looking like it might rain a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't. If it does, it's not a big deal. I'll just hit my normal pawn shops and Goodwill route. So not a big deal, but hopefully we find something today. Thanks for tuning in.
Rewind that.
Retro Rewinder, retro game finder with driving and pickups like a Metro bus liner with tips and trades and all kind of things and a beard straight out of the Lord of the Rings. With morals and collecting, he's a guy you can trust. What's the moral of this intro?
He's got a camera in his nuts.
Because I love video games, that's why.
Well, I left the first sale of the day. It is now 7:56, so finally found the first one. I'm on my way to a community sale. Managed to get a PS2 Slim Silver for $5 with a controller, no power cord though. Not a big deal though. I thought that was a pretty good way to start off this day. So hopefully this community sale brings some pretty good returns. So the second sale I went to, I actually found some PS2 games. Asked the lady how much she wanted for them. She said $1/4 a piece, so I couldn't really pass them up. Nothing too crazy, but I got a SpongeBob game and Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 1 and 2. So not too bad for $1/4 a piece. I also got some books for my daughter, but I'm sure you guys don't care about that. So I'm still trying to find this community sale, and I think I might have just found it. So see you guys later. So I just left the first community sale. I believe there's a few community sales in this area. I did manage to get a couple things. Actually, the best thing that I got that I've been looking for a while is a seat for my bicycle for my daughter. I've been wanting to find one at a garage sale. Haven't found one. I found that as well as a swing, but again, you guys probably don't care about that too much, but I was excited to get those. More related to the channel, I found a copy of Super Mario World Yoshi the Superstar DVD for $2. I decided to get that, and the best find of that sale, I found a DS Lite and a sweet pencil case, if you guys remember these back in the day. I don't know if they still make them or not, but I found this. Like I said, it is a DS Lite. I got it at the same sale that I got the swing and the bicycle seat, so this was just added bonus. I paid roughly $10 for this. So with the DS Lite, it also came with Pokemon Leaf Green. I got Zelda Phantom Hourglass, also Spirit Tracks, and some cooking game, I think Cooking Mama. So for $10, got all those. Pretty good. There's like 5 sales in the community sale, so not a huge community sale, but I think there is a few other community sales in this area, so hopefully I find some more good deals. So I'm out of all the community sales. The only thing that I got that I haven't shown you, I think about 2 things. I bought a Dazzle DVD recorder, still in the box for $1. Couldn't pass that up. And I thought this was kind of neat. They wanted a nickel for it, and it's a Jurassic Park card game. I ended up giving them $1/4 and just told them to keep the change. But after leaving the community sale, I hit a sale on the way to my next town, and they had a Wii for $75. And it had some games with it, and they wanted $75 for everything. They also had a PS2 system, a Slim with a bunch of Rock Band stuff, or guitar. Yeah, it was Rock Band because it had the drums and everything. I was gonna buy that just for the dongles because they sell for like $20 a piece, but somebody bought it just before me. But I asked the lady if she'd split up some of the Wii games from the system, and she said she would. So for $10, I got a copy of New Super Mario Bros. Wii, Punch Out. This does not have the manual, unfortunately. Mario Kart Wii, and I also got the Super Mario Galaxy official soundtrack. So that was pretty cool. So $10 for all 4 of those. So this day it turned out to be a pretty good one. Woo! So I just left another sale. This was a good one, guys. As a lady gets ready to pull out in front of me and I lose everything. Stupid freaking idiot. Anyway, I just bought a ton of shit. I spent $90, and it's the first time I've ever found 2 of these systems in the wild. So I'm not going to show you because I do have some live footage of that, so stay tuned.
I can't find the rest of my TurboGrafx games, so that's got to be in the basement. In one of the boxes.
More stuff.
Oh yeah, more games. Cartridges. All of these. Oh yeah.
The Genesis games.
Now that's down. Oh, I love TurboGrafx.
I
know.
Said all that.
I always loved it. I won't sell the TurboGrafx since I can't.
Can't find the games for.
Because I had like a stack of maybe 10, 15 of them.
I've got plenty of time if you wouldn't mind looking. I'd love to have the TurboGrafx. I don't have one of
You
those.
think they're downstairs? I have no idea where. I mean, they're all going to be in that one corner where all my box and stuff is. You can make an offer on their bike.
It's for my daughter. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was looking at it. She said, she got a bike in there now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. The only thing I can figure is those TurboGrafx that got put in with the DVDs, not DVDs. What do you call those things? The big ones. Yeah, tape.
Got any Black Diamond Disney movies?
What are Black Diamond?
It's an edition that Disney put out. Right now, they're some of them, like Beauty and the Beast, $3,500.
Oh my lord!
Well, I can certainly look.
Right?
For that kind of money.
Yeah, they're Black Diamond edition.
There's a VH tape.
Oh, there you go.
Is it Black Diamond?
No.
That's Betty Boop.
Shouldn't have said nothing.
That's Betty Boop. That's old stuff.
So there's a quarter out that's 1970.
I'll just pull out the stuff that's not.
Got a misprint, 1941 on the back of it, worth $35,000.
Oh my goodness.
I just wanted to get out the stuff that's not
Yeah.
not related. Oh man. Yeah, I don't have one of these. I'd love to have one.
Well, it's a neat game system.
This is the one that was only had the RF like the coaxial cable out, right?
Yeah, back in the
And
Yeah.
it should all be there.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
So it's starting to heat up a little bit. And when it heats up when you're garage selling, you got to support the local lemonade stand. So a cup of this cost me 50 cents. Let's do a little lemonade review right now. Very tart. Lots of sugar. Just the way I like it. Well, I'm done garage selling, kind of. I am now going to go to some pawn shops and some stores, and if I see garage sale signs on the way, I'm still going to stop, but I'm not just going to garage sales now. So I've got a car full of stuff. I don't know if you can see it in the camera or not, but I got a ton of crap back here. This is going to be a pretty cool video. Really excited about the one where I have some live garage sale footage that I'm going to show you. You've probably already seen it up to this point. Might show it at the end. I'm so happy about this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Well guys, it is now 1:18 in the afternoon. It's really starting to heat up around here. It's now like 86 degrees. The latest garage sale find, I'm in a completely different town now. I got a Pokemon Pikachu 2 I believe this is kind of like a Tamagotchi, a virtual pet type thing. I don't know if it works yet. I'm guessing it just needs batteries, but who knows what kind of battery it's going to take. It's probably going to be like a watch battery or something, which I hate dealing with those things. But anyway, 50 cents. I thought that was a pretty good deal. These sell for like 30 bucks still, which is crazy. Hopefully we keep this train moving, guys. Find of the day, probably my favorite find at a garage sale. That's a tough one. It's one of my favorite finds at a garage sale of all time. So, to tell you a little bit of the story, I went to the sale, asked the people there if they had any old video game stuff. There was probably a 12 to 14-year-old girl, her mom, which was probably in her mid-30s or so, and the grandma, which was, I don't know, mid-50s, somewhere around there. She was the one that actually responded, said, yeah, we've got some old video game stuff. What kind of things are you looking for? They didn't have anything out at the sale. I said, basically I collect everything from the original Nintendo up to newer stuff. So if you've got anything cartridge-based, anything like that, that's the stuff I look for. She proceeded to tell me that she had a Sega Genesis up in her attic, and I said, well, if you're willing to get it, I'd be willing to stick around and see it. Well, then she said, well, I could take your number and I could go look for it. I was in a town it's roughly about 25 minutes away, and I basically told her that I don't live in the area. If she had time, I was fine waiting, so she went ahead and went up to get it. Actually, she sent her granddaughter to get it. Now, before she left, she said, oh, and the other thing I have up there is a Grafx. And like, my brain started to explode at this point, because who has Grafx? You know, most of us that have been in this hobby, to find a Grafx, you have to get it at a trade show, a convention, or online. So when she said the word Grafx, I was starting to get really excited at that point. So she went in, and she came out with this huge white tub that I showed a picture on my Instagram of, and it was filled with stuff. So I'll just start showing you the consoles that came out. There were 2 Sega Genesis consoles. So 2 Segas. For the Sega, we've got, I think there's 3 first-party 3-button controllers for the Segas. I love these. This is one of my favorite controllers, actually. It's the 6-button Sega controller. That came out with it. And it came with a third-party Docks high-tech controller. This controller is really thin. It actually feels really good in your hands. I don't know if you can tell how thin that is compared to the one on the right, which is the first party. This one's quite a bit thinner. It actually felt really good in my hands. I might give that one a try. And then in the box was the Grafx 16, which, kind of funny, my most excited part about getting this is the cover, because when I bought mine at MGC a few years ago, mine did not have the cover on it. So my console is in a little bit better shape, so I'm definitely going to take the cover off this one and put it with mine and just resell this Turbo. The only thing I'm worried about is there are some screws missing from the bottom, so it can come apart a little bit. So I haven't tested this. I'll probably test it and show it in this video to see if it actually works, but yeah, super excited that she brought this down. And the other thing I was really excited about, a console that I have owned one time. I bought it at the Goodwill and it did not work at all. So I took it back to the Goodwill, and that was an Atari 5200. I don't know if this one works yet. I haven't tested it, but really cool to see that in the box. I've never found one of these besides the Goodwill, so cool to find it at a garage sale. Also, the Atari 5200 came with 2 first-party controllers. One of these joysticks, I don't know much about these joysticks, but this one, when you let go of it, it kind of centers. This one does not, and it feels like there's something in there. So I would assume that one probably is broken, but I'm not 100% sure. I've never even played a 5200 before. Also came with a Grafx controller. The controller is in pretty good shape, actually, probably better than mine. And then the cables. Another thing I was excited about is the. It's like, you don't need to care about that stuff, but where is it? Where is it? It actually came with the first-party Grafx cable. So the power cable and the AV cable. Which the power cable, if you get a first-party Grafx power cable, it's like $35. So that just added to the value. I was really excited to get that. Now let's move on to some of the games. We'll start with the Grafx games since they're right on top. We got Bonk's Adventure. And I did not have this one, so I was excited to see that in there. Bomberman. They only had 2 games as of now. She actually said that she knows she has at least 15 games. She said they're in a box somewhere. She can't remember where she put them. But she did leave me her number. I also left her my number, so we have some communication. I told her I'd call her in a week or 2 if she hasn't contacted me. Kind of like a first date. I didn't want to rush and just call her right back. So I'm going to give her a little bit of time. I told her that I would buy the games. I didn't expect her to give them to me after I bought all this stuff, because that was part of the bargaining that I had to do to get this, which I'll explain after I show everything. Okay, for the Sega games, we've got some loose ones. We got Pac-Man 2, The New Adventures, NBA Live, Madden. I'm not going to read the dates. Nobody really cares about those. We got Caesar's Palace, Miss Pac-Man, Josh's favorite game right there. 2 copies of Sonic Spinball. Pitfall. T2, the arcade game. And Primal Rage. They did have the box for Primal Rage, but it was so crushed and ripped that I didn't even feel like trying to save it. And a copy of Monopoly. Those were all the loose Sega games. And I'll read these off. I did get some box games. I think most of them have the manuals, but we got Tony La Russa Baseball, Mortal Kombat 3, Jordan vs. Bird. This one shocked me that I saw it in there because I did not get the system, so maybe she has the system laying around somewhere. And that's Rambo 3 for the Sega Master System. So yeah, I'm hoping she has that system laying around. That'd be pretty cool to get from her. But there was no Sega Master System and no adapter for the Sega Genesis. Also came with Madden 95, Beavis and Butthead, NBA Live, Madden 96, and Sonic 2. There were a few Atari 5200 loose games. We got Super Breakout and Galaxian. Also had a few loose 2600 games. Got Donkey Kong. We got Combat, Pac-Man, and the infamous E.T. cartridge. Those were all the games. As I break stuff. The first lot she brought out, she actually brought out a second box, and it had the PS2 Slim in there. It also had the SingStar mics and the adapter for the PS2 for that, and a couple controllers. And it also had some of the Sega games mixed in and a couple PS2 games that I just threw out because they were just scratched up sports games that I'm going to keep the cases for. So she brought all that stuff out. Once she couldn't find all the Grafx games, she proceeded to tell me she did not want to sell the Grafx without the games. So I started working. I said, I kind of told some white lies, you can see in the video. I said that I did not own a Grafx. I'd really like to have one. I didn't mind that the games went with it. I would buy it as is. Because she told me that the controller port, you kind of had to wiggle it to get it to work sometimes. I told her I didn't care, that I just really wanted to have the Grafx and that I would buy it as is. And if she found the games, I would come back to her house. She wouldn't have to go to me, and I would pay for them. I didn't expect her to give them to me. So I really had to fight for them to sell this stuff to me. Then the part happened where I got really nervous because she asked her daughter, how much is one of these worth? And instead of saying, can you look it up on eBay, she said, can you Google it? So that told me she probably wasn't going to find a lot of accuracy, which was good and bad. She could have found something right off the bat that said it was $500 or whatever. Anyway, she looked it up, and they wouldn't tell me what price they found. They just kind of showed each other. And then she said, well, I'll tell you what. And I said I'd like to buy everything if she would sell it all as one bundle. For everything, she said, how about $100? And this is before she brought out the box with the PS2 stuff. I said, $100, huh? I said, well, how about 75 since I'm buying the system as is, untested? The daughter said I'd go for that. So she sold it to me for $75. That included the 5200, the TurboGrafx, most of the Sega games, and the 2 TurboGrafx games. Then she said it only had the one Sega Genesis in there. Then she said she saw another Sega upstairs as well, but that was her her son's. So they called the son and asked if he'd want to sell it. They brought that box down, and it had the Sega Genesis in it. I believe the Sega was in there, and it also had the PS2 Slim and a bunch of crappy games. She asked if I'd be interested in that. I was up front with her and I said, honestly, ma'am, I bought a PS2 Slim earlier in the day for $10, so I would offer you $10 for whatever else is in here. All the games were sports games at this point. The nephew, I don't know why I keep saying the nephew. The son said $10 was fine, but then the woman said, well, how about 15? At this point, she's already sold me the TurboGrafx, and I still want those games that she's got sitting in her closet somewhere. So I said, you know what, since you were kind enough to go get the TurboGrafx and all that stuff out of your attic, I'll pay 15 for it. So I paid $90. I got everything. I also have her phone number, so hopefully I can show you guys in my next video all these awesome TurboGrafx games, because it's one of those things where I have no idea what she has. If she's got Bonks and Bomberman, I'm thinking that there's one or two other good ones in there, and probably some TV sports basketball or something. So, running out of breath because I got excited and started talking faster. This has been my live hunting video today. Hopefully you enjoyed all the stuff. I was super excited to find a TurboGrafx at a garage sale. I never thought that would happen. But it's the third time that I found TurboGrafx stuff out in the wild. Once at a Goodwill, once at this garage sale, and once at a used movie store, actually. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the live footage and the little bit of footage that I had in Goodwill and at the garage sale. Thank you so much again. This has been Retro Rewinder. See you next time.